If you take Kyrie Irving brain and put it in a bird right now, guess what that bird is going to do? It's going to fly backwards.
When Kyrie called for players to sit out during the bubble, one of the most memorable disses all time.
Because Kyrie right now, he's confused. He's showing his lack of leadership. Here it is. Kyrie, you have been on these conference calls over the last 2 months. You're the vice president of the Players Association. You have been very involved in all this that has been taking place for us, whether or not we're going to play or not. And you have been on the phone and you have voted to play.
After posting the documentary on his Twitter, offending lots of people, here's what the crew on TNT had to say.
Look, if he keeps making a big thing out of the word promotion, that is promotion. If on your social media you say, boom, here's a link to this, that tells me, hey, you should watch this. Correct? He's got 17 million Instagram followers, another 5 million or so on Twitter. You're all over social media. Do you ever put something out there, Shaq, that does not represent something that you feel?
I was probably one of the first guys on Twitter, and when I realized the power it had, I knew I had to be very responsible.
Here's Barkley on what the NBA did wrong about the situation.
The NBA dropped the ball. In what way? I think he should have been suspended. I think Adam should have suspended him. First of all, Adam's Jewish. You can't take my $40 million and insult my religion. If you're going to insult me, you have the right, but I have the right to say, no, you're not going to take my $40 million and insult my religion. I think the NBA, they made a mistake. We have suspended people and fined people who have made homophobic slurs, and that was the right thing to do. I think if you insult the black community, you should be suspended or fined heavily, depending. I saw they did the same thing to the kid in Minnesota this year when he made the gay slur. I think you should get suspended or fined. I think him acknowledging the Alex Jones thing should have happened with that too, but that dude's crazy. And I can't believe that we ain't talking about that. We're talking about this idiot. And when you say, if I say, hey, I'm agreeing with this movie, this book, or whatever, I'm agreeing with it. I'm not going to first of all, I don't do any social media, but when you're somebody as great as basketball like him, people going to listen to you what you say. And there's some French people out there, but like I say, I blame the NBA. He should have been suspended.
Here's Ernie Johnson, very upset at Kyrie after the post.
Kyrie's just part of this. I just think we've lost our way. I think in this country we've lost our way. I think people have forgotten what it's like to put the thought process into. If I put this out there, who am I going to hurt? And they haven't. And they're giving no thought to that. Where's civility these days? Where's empathy? And it's just it's a worrisome road and it's a dangerous road.
Here's the legendary Charles Barkley even bashing Irving after losing Game 4 of the 2016 Finals.
Kyrie Irving's not a great defender.
He makes Kevin Love look like Dennis Rodman.
Barkley's response after Irving being voted in for VP of Player Association.
It makes sense to you that Kyrie Irving would be voted vice president of the Players Association?
Yeah, that was a kind of a stunner because he hasn't shown any leadership abilities in the NBA.
Barkley on whether Irving could be the best player on his own team.
I don't think Kyrie Irving can be the best player on your team, but from a mental standpoint of being a leader of your franchise that has to live with all the criticism, I don't think he can be the best player on your team. If he can't handle playing in Boston, he got no chance of playing in New York, but that's a totally different animal.
During the bubble when the Lakers and LeBron was in the finals, here's Kyrie on taking the last shot, accused of taking a shot at LeBron.
10 seconds left, 1 point game. Who's shooting? You were Kyrie, KD?
Depends on who's hot. I don't see it as anything other than that. Like 1-3 pick and roll, or it's an ISO for either one of us, or it's something great for our team. One thing I've always been comfortable with is, I felt like I was the best option on every team I played for, down the stretch. This is the first time in my career where I can look down and be like, that motherfucker can make that shot too.
Here was James' response after he heard it.
So when I heard the comment that Kyrie made, I wanted to, not only find the whole transcript, but also call my people, send me the whole transcript. And I heard he did it on Katie's podcast. And I was a little like damn.
Yeah.
Once I got the whole transcript, I was like, damn. I wasn't like, oh, you tripping, I've hit game-winning shots my whole life. I was not like that. I was like, damn, because you were there for a couple seasons. I played with Kyrie for 3 seasons. The whole time while I was there, I only wanted to see him be an MVP of our league. I only cared about his success.
Here was Kendrick Perkins' furious reaction on Kyrie being super jealous of LeBron James.
And he was giving praise to Kevin Durant. But you could do that without taking shots at another player. And here's the truth of the matter. He is a bona fide hater. He is so jealous and he envied LeBron James that he can't even hide it no more. It's seeping through his pores. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyrie is sitting at home having watch parties, having a Dame Lillard jersey in the first round saying, come on, Dame, score 50, send him home. All of a sudden, LeBron James beat him. And then I wouldn't be surprised if he had a James Harden jersey for the next round. Come on, James, be the best scorer. Send him home. They can't guard you. Rooting for the Houston Rockets. All of a sudden, LeBron sends him home. And then he orders a Jamal Murray jersey. That's what Kyrie is doing right now. He's showing us his true colors. And he's probably on the bandwagon with the Heat. He got a Jimmy Butler jersey. He probably called KD. KD, hold on, they up 13. Don't drop that clip just yet. Ah, man, they blowing them out. Ah, they got hurt, they don't stand a chance. Go ahead and fire it away. Here it is. LeBron James sent Kyrie a life raft and a life jacket while he was drowning in Cleveland before he got there. He couldn't even sniff the playoffs, let alone win the championship, and the disrespect that you're showing to LeBron James when he only tried to show you the way.
Perkins continues on to share what he saw up close being a teammate with both these two in Cleveland.
I was on those teams, one of them. Kyrie, LeBron tried to take you under his wing. He tried to show you the way. You said, hey, I'm tired of being under his shadows. You tried to go to Boston. You tried to lead that team. And what happened? It was a disaster. They couldn't wait for you to get out of the Beantown. All of a sudden, Brad Stevens was smiling from ear to ear. Now he had his team back. The fact of the matter is Kyrie can't stand it watching LeBron go for his fourth title with the Los Angeles Lakers and having a Laker fan base now, and he just hates it. Man, he's losing sleep at night because LeBron James is on the verge of winning his fourth title. He's a bona fide hater. He's jealous. He envies LeBron James, and there's no other way to put it. That's just the hardcore facts. He showed us his true colors, and it is what it is.
Barkley on ranking Kyrie 25th best player in order.
Kyrie Irving is the 25th best player in the NBA.
You crazy.
You are tripping, man.
Oh,
you are out of your mind. Chuck, are you? Come on, Chuck. Yo, man, that's ridiculous, man.
Kenny.
That is ridiculous.
Kenny.
Kyrie Irving might be in the top 10. Come on, man. What are you drinking, man?
Yeah.
You put Kyrie Irving at number 25?
I didn't have him on the list. I had it.
Oh, my God.
Kyrie is right there. Is this like no particular order?
No, that's an order.
Yeah, that's an order.
He put him at 25.
Sir Charles on Irving requesting a trade from Cleveland spoke his mind.
Say this, I don't understand the Kyrie situation. Like, you know, this generation of players, you want to be on a good team. You want to play with other great players. This notion where you want to be the man, I just think it's so stupid. Like, if I got a chance to play with another great player, I want to do that.
Charles went in and bashed Kyrie on just being a miserable person.
And let me tell you something else. Kyrie Irving, I don't know him that well. He seems like a good kid, but I've never seen a person so miserable. He's going to make $40, $50 million a year for the next 10, 15 years. He's already won a world championship. He's in the movies. But he's got to be one of the most miserable people I've ever seen.
Barkley on Irving's lack of leadership.
You don't have to tell us you're a leader. I get through the BS, Ernie. Hey, we're losing because these young guys in the locker room. And I didn't like it at all. Like, dude, we made it to the conference finals without you. Yeah. Your job is to get us past the conference finals. We were in game 7 in the finals last year. And your thing is, well, the reason we're not winning now because these guys are too young. They don't know how to win. Boy, are you kidding me, boy?
Here's Barkley on Irving's mysterious absence from the Nets and not showing up to work.
He has to show up to work. You know, we had the game on when the coach got up there like, well, I don't know where Kyrie is. You have an obligation. As terrific as you are on television, you do have to tell Espen when you ain't going to show up for work.
Absolutely.
You can't just not go. I think that's personally why they made the James Harden trade, because they don't feel like they can trust Kyrie.
Barkley praising the Nets and on people saying Irving's like Ali.
I'm proud of the Nets for putting their foot down, for saying, no, we're not going to deal with this half on, half off. I wish they could find a way. If he wants to go on this thing, like, you know, people say he's like Ali. First of all, don't ever compare anybody to Ali. Ali went 3 years without boxing. He was the highest paid athlete in the world. This guy gonna make $17 million for sitting at home.
Barkley also cheering for Kyrie to lose.
I'm not talking about this dude anymore. Whether I just hope they lose.
He had a season high 27.
I just hope they lose.
Here's more Barkley on Kyrie wanting to be the man.
This new generation of egos, where I never played with a guy like a Kobe or a LeBron, where these guys can't coexist. What do you mean, I need to be the man? First of all, we showed this stat. He's averaging 25 points a game. Being the man, if he averages 30 and he's on a bad team, that's irrelevant to me. You want to play with many great players as possible. I don't understand the philosophy, I got to be the man. I want to win. I want to play with a guy like Shaq. I want to play with a guy like LeBron. I want to play with other great players. But this notion that we're winning, but I'm not getting, like, you're winning. You're in the finals every year. And I just don't understand this thing, man, where guys worry more about their brand.
When Kyrie tried cleaning up his comments about the false narratives that he's taking a shot at LeBron, ESPN Gets Up reacts.
Why should always be brother against brother? Why? If I'm addressing anyone, I'll say their name. Come on, y'all. Don't listen to the false narratives. Let people live their lives.
Jay Will, you look frustrated. False narratives? You don't have to say his name. Who else are you referencing? Look, I don't disagree with Kyrie's comments. Look, 5 seconds up to go in the game, I want the ball in Kyrie's hands too. I hear that. But the timing of him saying that while LeBron James is about to win his 4th NBA championship and be considered the greatest player of all time, it's just so poor. It's so poor, it's not a great reflection. That wasn't the only comment they talked about. They talked about the coaching style will be collaborative. And you don't put your head coach in a position to win when you say things like that initially. It just makes it tough all the way around. And that's my dude brother. It kills me to be on TV talking about this all the time. I'd much rather be talking about LeBron James than talking about Kyrie Irving right now, but constantly I find myself in these type of positions. Big Burke, did you interpret that as a shot at LeBron?
Need the strength to bite you. Before LeBron James went back to Cleveland, Kyrie Irving had a first class ticket every single year to the lottery. When he was a superstar, he had the lowest win percentage as a superstar when he was the head of the snake at 27%. And by the way, Granny, forget that LeBron James is 12 for 23 and go ahead or game-winning buckets in the playoffs. It is flat out disrespectful. Kyrie could have gave KD his flowers without putting that in there. We all know what kind of scorer that Kevin Durant is. He didn't have to shoot that subliminal slug out there, but what's happening is he's over there sitting on his soapbox while LeBron James is marching to his 4th finals and possibly on the verge of winning his 4th championship.
Perk, I do want to say that LeBron James did put a cap on it because out of nowhere, that comment that he had with AD about we don't have jealousy on this team. We're both on the same page. We don't try to need something from each other. That says everything you need to know about LeBron James responding back to Kyrie without mentioning Kyrie's name.
All facts. Now Kenny Atkinson and Steve Nash gone doesn't happen by accident. Here's former Nets assistant coach Amari Stoudemire saying Kyrie hurt the team's chemistry when he wasn't available to play after not getting the COVID shot.
What kind of an impact do you believe Kyrie Irving's situation had on this season's championship aspirations? That's a direct question.
Yeah, I think it hurt us. It definitely hurt us because we didn't have the consistency with Kyrie enough to build the chemistry for the group of the team, right? He plays, only on the away games, depending on which city it is, can't play in New York. So therefore, we have different lineups and different matchups depending on the game scheduling. And so it made it difficult for us as coaches to figure out, who's going to play in spite of Kyrie. The chemistry's not quite there, probably like we would like for it to be. So it was difficult for us to manage that.
Here's Amari on what he truly thinks of Kyrie and what he's trying to accomplish with the information he researches outside of basketball.
What I've noticed throughout the years of Kyrie is that he's a guy who's really trying to find his identity, right? He's on his quest of searching for information and knowledge, and while acquiring this type of information, you got to be more mindful of doing more research, checking your sources, reviewing before you actually, promote anything. Right, exactly. And I think that's something that Kyrie's probably lacking right now is that he's not really doing the full vetting of what he's promoting, and I think that's getting him into trouble.
Here's former teammate Richard Jefferson speaking his mind on Irving's lack of awareness when posting things that comes from super controversial figures on social media.
Kyrie says that he has never, he's not anti-Semitic in these things, but the tweet is still up. The tweet is still up there. Kyrie also earlier in the summer, posted Alex Jones, who basically tortured a bunch of families here locally in Connecticut after the Sandy Hook tragedy. He was torturing those families, and Kyrie reposted a video from this man. It wasn't about that specific thing, but you have to understand how you use your social media has effects and can affect people. And if you're insensitive to that, then you are truly endorsing it. So to say that and not take it down, to repost Alex Jones, you are endorsing them, and you are giving your platform of people and its millions upon millions of followers an endorsement. You're saying, look at this individual or look at this movie. And so those things have effects, and people need to understand that.
JJ Redick on Kyrie's lack of ability to play games during the regular season.
Again, when we talk about the sort of background of Kyrie, Seth brought up the availability. This has been his whole career. There's been availability issues in terms of average games played per season. He's not going to be a guy, I don't know that will play in 78 to 82 games or 75 to 82 games. That's just not who he is.
Kendrick Perkins on Kyrie Irving failing to use his platform when addressing his post on Twitter.
When Kyrie Irving wants to go on live and he want to talk about other things and he want to draw audience and things of that nature when he want to address other topics, he do it freely. But this situation, when I feel like you should use your platform again and let people actually see your face, because we haven't been able to see your face over the last couple days. You haven't been available to media, whether that's an organizational thing or your personal thing. We haven't heard it come out of your mouth. Nobody have seen it come out of your mouth. Yes, it's on your platform, but we know how they go.
Jay Williams sharing his disappointments on Kyrie about the lack of public speaking.
Like, you already go on your phone and address people by saying, I'm sorry, I was exploring my black heritage. I did not mean to harm or hurt anybody throughout that process. And now reflectively, thinking back on it, I would not have done the same thing. I would change the way I go about doing it. The amount of respect people would have had for him, some people still would have been angry at him, of course, but we would have been talking about him very differently than a guy that didn't even show up at the ADL meeting and had his proxy show up and then draw a statement.
Perkins getting super angry when Kyrie had the audacity to have a wish list during summer 2022 and how he's being disrespectful.
The fact that he had the audacity to put together a wish list and give it to the Brooklyn Nets is the craziest thing I've seen this season and out of Kyrie Irving, and that's saying a lot. Here's why. He has been the most disrespectful person when it comes to disrespecting the organization. Stephen A. alluded to plenty of times. Not showing up to work. I'm not talking about the vaccine. I'm talking about before then. When he's getting caught at his sister's birthday party and things of that nature. When he's holding practices and things outside of Steve Nash. Although I'm not a big fan of Steve Nash, it's still a level of respect. And you have the audacity to come in and actually give them a wish list and hope that they help you get where you need to go. That is crazy to me.
Raja Bell speaking on Kyrie's approach, thinking he's smarter than everybody else.
Kyrie comes off like he thinks he's smarter than you. Like, and he's more enlightened than you, right? And so, like, how dare you question what I'm going to do with this? I'm doing it because I'm more enlightened than you. And that rubs people the wrong way. Like, you know, and look, I don't know, like, Kyrie's IQ and all of that. I'm not saying that, but it's the way he approaches it, it seems like, and it's the way it comes off. It's like, look, I know better than y'all. Like, I've got this figured out. You guys clearly don't. And this is what I'm going to do. I also think that there's a lack of real direction in his camp.
Kendrick Perkins mentions Kyrie causing negativity upon himself and people's counter-argument when Irving does good for the community.
He does wrong, the media react to it, and then all of a sudden he does something great in the communities, and everybody like, you owe Kyrie apology. No, the hell I don't.
They're two different things.
Right, I wasn't addressing what he was doing in the community. I was talking about what he's doing in basketball. And by the way, it's a lot of people doing things in the community. They just not out there broadcasting it, because if you're doing it for the right reason, you don't need a pat on the back.
Reggie Miller extremely disappointed at the players for not calling out Kyrie. While they all called out former owners Donald Sterling and Robert Sarver, Miller couldn't believe they went silent on Irving. Here's Terry Rozier on his lack of progress with Kyrie on the floor during the 2019 season.
I have to adjust to how Kyrie plays. And then when, Kyrie goes out, Gordon Hayward comes in, and I feel like his usage is super high. So a lot of things are getting called for him, a lot of plays get called for him. So that's pretty much.
So it's both things. Equally, would you say?
This is for me. I'm not saying what goes on for the team, why we wasn't successful for the team. I'm just talking about me. And like I said in my quote, I don't complain. That's not me. But, that's just what it is. It's the truth.
Of course, former NBA all-time great and huge activist Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has no hope for Irving to change because of fame and money, surrounded by yes people, no motivation to learn to distinguish propaganda from facts. That's all left is for the world to decide how they should respond to him. Jabbar also said that Irving would have been dismissed as a comical buffoon if it wasn't for his influence over young people who looked up to famous athletes, and how it is super clear that Irving has tarnished the reputations of all athletes who strives to be seen as more than dumb jocks. Also bashed Irving for his promotion of Alex Jones's rhetoric as destructive, insensitive, and just plain silly before suggesting that the public contact Irving sponsors in an attempt to get him dropped from his endorsements with brands such as Pepsi and 2K Sports. Here's Enes Kanter picking Kemba over Kyrie as a leader.
Obviously, he's definitely one of the best point guard in the league. And but I think I remember when I was with Portland, we came to play against Celtics, and I could feel that the chemistry just wasn't there. The chemistry wasn't there. There was like a negative energy. But I think I think now what we gotta do is just stay together and just to keep focusing on what we need to focus and just go out there and just go out there and have fun. And I think Kemba is a really good leader. I'll definitely pick Kemba any day over.
And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done.
All in all, given all the trouble surrounding Kyrie Irving and his future with the Brooklyn Nets, perhaps he played the last game with the franchise, all this distraction, headaches, everybody's absolutely sick with it. Although overall Irving gets the benefit of the doubt from lots of current and former players respect his game highly, but his attitude being a bad teammate, another disaster looking for the Brooklyn Nets. Thank you so much for watching this video. Is Kyrie Irving destroying his basketball legacy with all the constant remarks and distractions? Let me know in the comments below. I love all of you. See you next time.